I am so happy and grateful. All is now in the past. Every bad memory is forgotten. All the pain from the past has been healed. I am free from the past. I am free from pain. I am free from insecurity. I am free from anxiety. I am free from negative and triggering thoughts. I no longer think about the past, and I no longer identify with the past. I am a new creation. I am now immune to all hurt and resentment. I am at peace. I am at peace with myself. I am a new person. I am a completely new version of myself. And I have a new mindset. I have a new identity. I have been made new. I am whole. I am complete. And I am lacking nothing.
Blessings, everyone. Welcome, welcome. You are warmly welcome here. This is the therapy room, and I am Anna, your therapist and manifestation coach. I help women heal their souls so that they can manifest happiness and joy in everyday life. I trust that everyone is doing well on this evening. The whole nation has been having reception internet problems, and so I'm not sure if everyone is able to see me well and hear me well. Just let me know. And before I begin, if you are joining this broadcast for the first time, you are warmly welcome here. All right, so I'm just going to give it a minute and let's see if the reception is coming across clear. Is the video clear? All right, so it seems as though the video is coming across clear. All right, giving it a minute, just get a few people to join us. Tonight I'm talking about emotional maturity. All right, developing emotional maturity to nurture healthy relationships. And just in the event if this broadcast is still sticking and not coming across well, I'm just going to end it, and I will come on tomorrow sometime during the course of the day to give us this information, because this is going to be a dynamic, powerful, power-packed program. Okay, so I really want us to see well and hear well. Let me know if everyone can hear me and can see me. All right, so we're talking tonight about developing emotional maturity to nurture healthy relationships. Blessings, Mommy Ava. I see you on the screen, so I believe that the reception should be coming across clear tonight. All right. Yes, there's so much things are happening in the nation with the internet. I think they were doing servicing or something like that. So we're talking about developing emotional maturity to nurture healthy relationships, and as you know, that is the number one requirement, right? That's like the number one requirement for for us as healed women to have a healthy relationship. We have to demonstrate a sober mind and a sound heart, right? Which is emotional maturity. So I wrote a little definition about what emotional maturity is. So I think we're good to go, so I can begin. Emotional maturity refers to the ability to understand and manage your emotions in a balanced and constructive way, right? Having emotional maturity is what makes all the difference in healthy relationships. And so that is exactly the skill that we want to develop, so that as we go forward into the new year 2024, we are going into the new year as our healed and most healthiest version of ourselves, from a place of emotional maturity. Now, as I said earlier, in order for us to have healthy relationships in our marriage, we have to demonstrate some form of emotional maturity. On our jobs, we have to demonstrate emotional maturity, right? With business transactions, we have to demonstrate emotional maturity, right? With friends that we go out with, or that we just hang out with, we have to demonstrate some form of emotional maturity. The fastest way to destroy any relationship is emotional immaturity, right? Nobody wants to be around a person that is emotionally immature. Nobody wants to be in a partnership with someone that is immature. No one wants to be in a marriage with someone that is immature, right? So one of the main requirements for having healthy relationships, right, as you go forward into 2024, is emotional maturity. And it's all about being able to manage your feelings and manage your emotions in a healthy way. All right? So why don't we go on? Let's talk. Those of you that are taking notes, you can begin to take your notes now. I think the internet reception has stabilized itself. All right? So point number 1, you can write this down. Point number 1, emotional maturity begins with self-awareness, right? It begins with self-awareness. This involves understanding one's own emotions, including your triggers and the impact that it has on others. So it's one thing to be alive and to be in partnerships and to be meeting with people and to be in a marriage and to be leading a group or whatever you do. It's one thing to do that, but it's another thing to be able to have a healthy human-to-human relationship. And do you know what is causing a lot of people to struggle with emotional maturity in this time and in this season? The fact that a lot of our communication is happening without verbalizing words. What am I saying? Everything is on social media. Everyone is talking to each other on emails. Everyone is talking via text messages, and everyone is responding via text messages and direct messages. No one is talking face to face anymore. No one is communicating with each other in a healthy human way. Human to human connection. We all need human to human connection. That's the thing that makes us human. That is the thing that keeps us human. And so you find when people stop, the minute that the world stopped communicating in a human way, human to human, and everything is AI, everything is social media, everything is just sending a text at the speed of lightning. The minute that we stop human to human connection, we lose our emotions. Our emotions begin to become numb, right? And so if you are a woman that you're ready to achieve greatness, you know that you're coming into a place of great blessings and bigness, and you're coming to the mountaintop to shine your light, then you've got to develop the skill of emotional maturity. And it involves being able to master your emotions, master your feelings in a healthy, constructive way. All right. Thank you, LaShawn. I'm so happy that you guys can see me now and hear me well. The others are going to join us back now that the internet has stabilized. So this is very, very fundamentally important. Millionaire woman. If you are a millionaire woman and you know that you've been sent to this planet to help heal the world, to shine your light, to help remove suffering in the lives of other women around the world, then you have to master this skill. You have to learn this skill and you've got to master this skill. All right? So, number one, I told you number one, emotional maturity begins with self-awareness. It begins with self-awareness. What do I mean? This involves understanding your own self, understanding your triggers. Every human being on planet Earth, as long as you're a human being and you got a human heart beating in your body, you would have some form of trigger area. All right? Now, it does not mean that you are someone that can be easily triggered and you're on the edge, right? It simply means that there are things that people may do that can upset you. It means that there are things that someone may, a behavior that someone may demonstrate in your presence that it really would not sit well with you, and you may feel as though you have to speak about it, and that's fine. That's what makes us humans, right? So every human being on planet Earth, we all have trigger points. The problem arises, or the problem comes into play when we do not know how to manage our trigger points. All right? So in order for you and me to become an emotionally mature person, you have to first identify what are your triggers. What upsets you? Someone is asking, what do you mean by triggers? I'm referring to what upsets you. What are the injustices in the world that really gets you upset? It gets you mad to the point that if you see it happening and it's in your presence, you will stand up and speak out against it. Right? You will speak against it. A trigger can be something as simple as you tell your partner or your husband, listen, when you have finished eating, please do not leave any dirty wares in the sink. I would appreciate it if you washed it up and dried the sink down. And then here comes your partner, right? He does exactly the opposite of what you told him not to do. He eats, he leaves all his wares in the sink, and on top of that, he ensures that the entire sink is left soaking with water. There's water everywhere, leaking, dripping down your counters. That is something that will trigger you, but not in a bad sense, not in a bad way, but it's going to get you upset because you don't like that. For a fact, I'm talking about myself. I hate to see a wet, dripping sink. I don't like to see that at all, right? I really like to see order and cleanliness in a kitchen. So everyone has triggers in different areas. Does it mean that you are mentally ill? Of course not. It just makes you human, okay? So what is important is to know what your triggers are so that you can learn how to manage those triggers so that it doesn't get you to give some sort of really bad outbursts, right? Managing your triggers is very important to developing emotional maturity, right? And that's what you have to learn over time. This is a skill. You don't just wake up one morning and say, wow, thank God I'm an emotionally mature person. Just like that. No, it is a skill that you master over time. You have to identify what your triggers are, and once you identify your triggers, you must then clearly communicate your needs to others regarding your triggers so that they will know to tread lightly. Well, not to tread lightly, okay? But they will know how to approach you, the things that you like and the things that you do not like, right? So that's one of the areas, the ways in which you master your triggers or deal with it in a very respectful and constructive way. All right? So this is what it means to be self-aware or to become a self-aware person. Long gone are the days where we as women were just walking around as the angry black woman, holding all this anger inside, and we're just waiting for someone to step on our toes so that we can let it all out. Long gone are those days. My queens, if you are called to handle millions, if you are called to be function at peak performance, peak performers don't function like that. No. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. I'm here to help you remove soul suffering and to get you into your mountain of influence so that you can shine your light and do great things in this world. All right? So long gone are those days. We're not harboring unforgiveness. We're not holding on to anger. We're not holding on to our triggers and taking care of it and nursing it as though it's our babies. No, those triggers can really mess relationships up. We are becoming self-aware of what we like, what we don't like, what are the injustices in the world that we choose to stand against, what are the injustices, and how are we going to clearly communicate to those in our influence, to those in our circle, to those in our marriage, to our sons and daughters. How are we going to communicate our likes and our dislikes? How do we communicate that? That's entirely up to you, right? You can choose how you communicate that. But the important thing is that you become self-aware, right? Becoming self-aware, listen, millionaire woman, that's the best thing you can do for yourself, for your growth, and for your development. Becoming a self-aware woman. Listen, any woman that lives this life and is just clueless as to knowing what she likes, what she doesn't like, what are injustices and all of that, my dear sister, that's a Barbie. That's a Barbie woman. You're not a Barbie woman. You are a constructive, intellectual woman of greatness, and you have been sent to this planet to do something really amazing. You have been sent to this planet to function and to flow in your highest capacity with mental clarity and focus. You're not a Barbie. You're not a Barbie. I'm not speaking to Barbies. If you're a Barbie, well, probably I could be speaking to you, but it's for transformation. By the end of this broadcast, you're going to be transformed. By the end of this broadcast, I'm telling you, your life is going to significantly level up, right? So I want every woman listening to me right now and those that would watch the replay to begin to think about yourself after the broadcast. Think about yourself. Think about the things that you don't like. Think about the things that upsets you. Now, when you think about those things, this is what you have to do. You have to then think about the ways that you can deal with those cases, the ways that you can deal with troublesome people, the ways that you can deal with rude people in the world. You have to create the scenario in your mind and come up with a solution, right? So that when you go out there in the real world, if the scenario comes up, you have already addressed it by intellectually thinking. Okay, I'll give you an example. if you're going out to do some shopping, I think it's most obvious that we all can agree you are obviously probably going to run into an angry sales rep. Someone that rolls their eyes at you, or someone that totally ignores you and is unwilling to serve. They just have the job, but they're really unwilling to serve. They came to work just for the pay, right? You have to decide, how am I going to deal with this person that is working and they did not come to serve the customer? How am I going to deal with this person? Showing up in the business enterprise in the spur of the moment, and let's say the person tells you something bad and you just blow off on the person right there in the enterprise, in the business place, that is not being emotionally mature. And so this is what I'm saying. You have to become self-aware by thinking on it from, and this is what I said. Emotional maturity, it's a skill that is developed over time. It's developed over time, because there are many other examples I can draw to your attention. But these are just some examples, right? So you never want to be caught off guard with angry people in the world. And you never want to fight fire with fire. You never want to go an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, right? You want to develop the skill of being emotionally mature. And in order to do that, as point number 1 says, you first have to become a self-aware person. You have to become a self-aware person. In other words, you have to develop this force field of energy around you, and you have to know what you are willing to let into your energetic space, who can come close, and who should not be coming close. All right? So just after the broadcast, all through the weekend, you can begin thinking on things that upsets you and thinking about solutions and logical ways that you can deal with it. If you're going to the bank and you just have a feeling that some crazy person at the bank is going to try to trigger you off, think about a solution up front. So mentally, you prepare yourself. And that's how you begin to develop the skill of becoming self-aware. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 in developing emotional maturity is you have to regulate your emotions. You have to do what? Regulate your emotions, right? What do I mean by that? I wrote a little point here for us. Being in tune with your feelings allows you to self-regulate and to make better decisions, right? This is what it means by regulating your emotions. You got to be in tune with your feelings, and you got to know what your body is telling you. You've got to know what your intuition is saying to you. As a woman, every woman on the planet have been blessed with the gift of intuition. Do you know where intuition speaks to you? From your gut. Let me prove it to you. Have you ever gone somewhere and all of a sudden you just get this nudging in your tummy here, and it's like, I don't think I should go into that store today. I'm going to bypass that store and I'm going to go down the road. And later on there was a really good reason why your intuition told you not to go into that store. It all worked out in your favor. Intuition. Every woman on the planet, I don't care who you are, what country you were born in, and what your life experiences are, I'm telling you, you've got intuition. You've got intuition. You've got intuition. And intuition speaks to you right here, right there in your parasympathetic nervous system. Right there, your intuition speaks to you, right? Choosing to ignore your intuition is entirely your choice, but every woman has intuition. Do you know how many married women can tell you that they knew a lot of things that was happening in their marriage because of intuition? Mothers who have sons that are acting crazy and weird and doing weird things, right? Mothers can tell you that they got an intuition, they got a knowing in their soul that their son, something was going to happen to their son, or someone good was going to come into their life, or they were going to get some sort of spiritual awakening. Mothers can see that and can discern that, right? So it's intuition. So I know LaShawn can agree to this. So point number 2 is all about regulating your emotions. And the way that you regulate your emotions is being in tune with your feelings. Listen to your feelings. Someone write, listen to your feelings. Now this is for the emotionally healthy woman. The emotionally healthy woman is able to listen to her feelings. You gotta listen to your intuition now, because when your intuition speaks and you listen, you gotta know, okay, wow, I don't think that going here is healthy for me in this season of my life. I'm no longer going to go here, or I'm not going to take this phone call. This person has a really bad attitude. They had a bad attitude in the past. So you know what? I'm not going to take that phone call, or I'm not going to be following them. I think I'm going to clean up my social media. I'm going to unfriend all these toxic people and remove them out of my energetic space because they are unhealthy for my growth and my development. It is called emotional regulation. You have the power to regulate your emotions. I cannot come and do it for you in your personal space. If you come to my office as a therapist, I can definitely guide you through it, and we can work with a plan. But you have the power to regulate your emotions. You have the power to listen to your intuition. You have the power to discern. And you got to be in tune with your feelings. You got to be a self-aware person. Gone are the days where we're walking around and where our mind is blanked off from reality. Our mind is blanked off from the happenings in our communities. Our mind is totally blanked off. Do you know there's a generation that is coming up now? Their mind is blanked out. They are spaced out all the time. Many of them. You go out with them, you're talking to them, and you're thinking that they are here in their body and in their mind and in their consciousness. That time their body is here and their mind is spaced out somewhere else. And so we don't want to be like that. Because when a woman functions spaced out, she is unable to develop the skill of emotional maturity. She cannot function as an emotional mature woman because she is spaced out all the time. She is not self-aware, and that woman is unable to regulate her own emotions. So she is definitely not able to have healthy relationships. Everyone understanding? And so this is where you see a lot of young women in our generation now making wrong decisions, choosing wrongly for relationships, because they don't even know themselves. And if you don't know yourselves, then you're unable to choose wisely, right? We are unable to choose wisely. So that's emotional regulation. That's point number 2. We all need to learn to listen to our feelings and be in touch with what our intuition is saying. We need to learn how to be fully present in the world. Wherever you have to show up fully present. I want someone to write that down. Wherever you have to show up fully present. Don't show up and you are presenting half of yourself or half of your mind. Half of my mind is here, but the next half is somewhere else over there. That is the behavior of someone that is demonstrating, some sort of mental health problems, right? So I want you to work on regulating your emotions, right? Work on regulating your emotions, and wherever you show up fully present. Point number three for developing emotional maturity is this. Emotionally mature women have to develop the skill of empathy. That's point number 3 for developing emotional maturity. It's empathy. Empathy. We all have to develop empathy. So important. So vitally important to be able to foster healthy relationships. You, neither me, can be in a relationship and we have no empathy for people. We have no empathy for our partners, for our spouse, for our business partners, for sons or daughters. At some point in time, empathy must take residence in your soul towards other people. Remember, we're dealing with human beings. We're dealing with human beings. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to do the wrong things at times. They are going to say the wrong things at times. But what has to happen is that you and I have to develop empathy so that when situations arise in the rightful place, in the rightful space and the rightful place, you're able to deal with it. All right? So I wrote some points here for you. Let me read those points. Emotionally mature women are able to emphasize with others while trying to understand their situations. Right? Empathy fosters positive relationships and helps resolve conflicts by promoting understanding. Now, this empathy is very, very important for marriages, right? If you are a married woman or you are seeking to be married, you must develop the skill of empathy for your spouse. Because I'll tell you what, in a marriage, your spouse is going to offend you 70 times 7. Right? Do you know there's a quote in the Bible that says, how many times should you forgive your brother? And what did Jesus say? 70 times 7. So, there is no other relationship that's going to test your forgiveness, your ability to forgive, than in marriage. So, in order to be able to forgive and to release your spouse, you have to develop the skill of empathy, right? So that's in marriages. Now, in business relationships, of course, you have to be able to deal with things as they come. Business relationships, it is a bit different because in the business mountain, there are rules and regulations for conducting oneself in partnerships. And if one person breaches the partnership in business, then, well, I'm telling you, someone has to take the losses for that. So I don't know, how that's going to work for you in your business partnership. So you just have to determine who's going to take the losses for that, right? So empathy has to also be shown to relationships with your loved ones. Let's say your nieces, your nephews, sons, daughters, brothers, sisters. We all have them in our family, right? Different types of people have different types of personality, and they are going to get you upset sometimes, right? But as an emotionally mature person, you don't want to go fire for fire. You don't want to go an eye for an eye, right? So you have to be able to say, you know what? This crazy in you is not going to trip me off. Your problems that you are having with yourself has nothing to do with me. That is a reflection of who you are. Your negativity that you are displaying has absolutely nothing to do with me. That is a reflection of who you are. And I'm going to extend empathy by ignoring you. These are some of the skills that you have to develop as an emotionally mature person, right? So you have to develop that empathy. Now, emotionally mature women, write this down. We're still on point number 3. Write this down. Emotionally mature women see things from the other side of life. So emotionally mature women see things differently. I know what I'm telling you. We see things differently. And this is in no way to, make any young person feel some kind of way, but most of my viewers are women over 40, right? So this is a mature audience that I speak to most of the evenings, right? Emotionally mature women see things differently, because I'll tell you what, the younger generation today, they are very easily offended. And in that state of being easily offended, they are quick. They are quick to answer back. They are quick to, what do they say, LaShawn? Is it clap back? They're quick to clap back. I think that's the term, right? So this generation is quick to answer back. They're quick to bounce back. They're quick to, fight. They're quick to throw some kind of shade. And all these kinds of things are happening right now in the world and on social media, right? So, this is what I'm saying. You and I have to understand that in the world, there's going to be all sorts of, immature people, emotionally immature people. And so in order to be able to deal with that, you have to be able to just let some things slide, let some things go. Because mature women see things differently. Not everyone is going to be able to understand you, understand your cause, work with you in your business, understand your message. It's not for everyone. Remember, you are not sent to everyone. I'm not sent to everyone. But the people that are sent to me, they will understand. And there's automatically going to be a knowing in their soul that, okay, this is the mountain that I belong to. I'm a woman on a mission. I'm healing my soul. And I am ready to level up to become the best version of myself. So let me learn what the teacher is teaching, right? So I can tell you this, LaShawn can probably also help us as well, because she has been through so much in life, right? And as an ex-army veteran, she has seen a lot. She has seen a lot. And as a mature woman, if she goes back to the army to work tomorrow, right, she's going to see army life differently to the new recruits. This is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. So LaShawn falls under the category of a mature woman. She is going to see life differently. Mothers that are over, let's say over 45, 50, 60, mature women, you are going to see life differently. So when you are speaking to sons or daughters, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and they're not listening, Most of the generation now don't want to listen to the mothers. They don't want to listen to the elders because they think that you don't know what you're speaking about, which is actually not true, because you have seen it. You have seen it all out there. You know where the dangers are. You know where the evils are. You know the deceptions of life. They don't know it. And so you see life from a different point of view. You see a different perspective. But some people don't see it that way. And as I said in our past class, that some people just have to burn to learn, right? So this is one of the ways that you can determine in your soul if your soul is maturing well, right? When you begin to see life differently, you can determine if your soul is maturing gracefully. Remember, that's the goal, to mature gracefully. Remember what I told you? No one just wakes up tomorrow morning and automatically have arrived. This is a graceful journey. Every day we are growing, we are learning, we are healing, we are prospering together in this journey, right? So you evaluate your soul's growth by your maturity levels. And no better person to evaluate yourself than you through your life situations when challenges arise and the way in which you deal with it. You can evaluate you. You know yourself. You can evaluate yourself by checking back yesterday, the day before, last week, to see where you overreacted in situations, where you were triggered and you had an outburst of anger, or where you said something that you should not have said. You can evaluate yourself and you will know if your soul is maturing well. Do you know, in psychology there's something that we study, right? And this is it. This is it, right? It is, they said that there are immature souls walking around the planet in older bodies. Immature souls walking around the planet in old bodies. And that just really blew my mind, because we all can agree to that. Have you ever met older people, probably in the world, in your work sector or wherever, older people that act like children, very childish, grown women that should be in a place of emotional maturity, acting like a child? Who has ever met someone like that? You have. I have. We all have. And this is something that falls under the mental ailments sector, right? And usually women like this, they don't want to acknowledge that something is wrong with their stages of growth. But it is very true, right? It is very true that I don't know if they have stopped, if they have stopped growing at a certain point in their life or what. But that's just it, right? So every single one of us, we have the ability to be able to analyze ourselves, evaluate ourselves, and see where we are see where we are in our growing process, in our healing process, and in our soul's growth. All right? So that's important. So remember that. Let's go on to point number 4. Write this down. Point number 4. Resilience. Point number 4 is resilience. All right? Write this down. Emotionally mature women have developed resilience, right? The woman that have developed resilience is able to bounce back from setbacks. The woman that have developed resilience is able to bounce back from setback. This is the woman that is able to adapt to challenges of life, right? It's as though the storms of life came, and the storms of life came to blow you down and to really drag you through the mud. But you were able to bounce back and rise from the ashes of life. Resilience. Resilience creates emotional maturity. Resilience is one of the greatest teachers of life. It helps us to develop emotional maturity. If we've never been through anything in our lives, we have no experience. We have no wisdom. Wisdom is developed over time through life's experiences. And sometimes we go through really bad experiences. My sympathy goes out to everyone who has gone through really bad experiences in their life. But if it's one thing I can agree, and you can agree as well, is that our experiences in our life have given us wisdom and have taught us wisdom. We are growing in wisdom, right? And so your bad experiences, your sad experiences, death in your family. Some of you experienced death just this year. During the 100 days of prayer, LaShawn's dad went on to be with the Lord. She experienced something sad, but yet it was joyful because we knew where he went. He went to heaven, right? But if a person have never experienced the death of a family member, then they would not have the kind of resilience that she may have in terms of being able to still come on the broadcast during the 100 days of prayer and offer prayer, even during that time. That's something I will never forget. Who remembers LaShawn coming on during the 100 days of prayer to offer prayer even during that challenging time in her life? My God, talk about resilience. Tell me about resilience. That is resilience. I'm telling you, resilience, resilience, resilience. Prophetess Gems is another woman of great resilience. Though the storms of life comes and blows against her and blows her to the left and blew her to the right and tried to put her in a bed of sickness, she battled the sickness. She battled in the hospital. She battled against the forces of darkness, and she recovered. She recovered her health. She recovered her health. That in itself is resilience. It is the storms of life blowing against the woman to break them, to break their mind, to break your willpower. But yet you remain standing. Yet you come back alive. Yet you bounce back. Nothing teaches us how to be emotionally mature than resilience. 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 Being able to stand the test of time. If you're a woman of resilience, I want you to declare, I was able to stand the test of time. I'm a woman of resilience. A woman of resilience. I'm talking to women of resilience. Women of resilience. Wow. Standing the test of time. We are women of resilience. A woman that have never been through any life-threatening circumstances in her life is not able to stand tell you how to make it. Because that woman has never been through anything, or that person. So you and I, we are called. 2024 is calling us into greatness. 2024 is calling us into our mountains of influence, into that place of dominion, to stand strong, unmoved, unshaken, as women of resilience, unafraid and unapologetically ourselves. There's something that I always put up when I put up the mental health videos, and it's this: I give no power to negative thoughts. I give no power to negative provocations in my life. I give no power to negative emotions. I'm on a journey to heal my soul, and I use my power to heal my soul. And I want you to develop that. When you develop that, you develop strength of character. You develop resilience in the face of the adversary, in the face of the enemies. You develop resilience. Yeah, right? So 2024, we are moving into our mountains of dominion. We are moving onto our mountains of wealth and abundance. We are moving into that place where our light is going to shine, and we're going to help remove the sufferings of so many other women. But in order to do that, you have to develop emotional maturity. And emotional maturity comes through resilience. That's point number 4. I gave you some other points. That's point number 4. We are women of resilience. Write this down. We're still on resilience. The emotionally mature woman sees failure as a stepping stone to her next level. The emotionally mature woman sees failure as a stepping stone to her next level. So, failure is not something to be afraid of, my sisters, my queens. It's not something to be afraid of. Ask every successful person. Every successful person, when they attempted to start their business, they had to start several times over. Because they started, it didn't work, then they had to change the strategy, try again, it didn't work, then they had to change the strategy, try again until it worked. Failure is failure. Don't be afraid of failure. As a successful woman, you cannot be afraid to fail. Right? You cannot be. You got to see it as a stepping stone. The man that created the light bulb, he tried, I think, how many ever hundreds of times before the light bulb was actually invented. And that's why we have the light bulb today. Right? I'm sure many of you know of that story. So, had he given up before time, we may not have had the light bulb as yet. Or someone else may have had to come and deliver that light bulb to the world, right? So you are bringing forth something wonderful in the world. You are bringing forth something really rich and rewarding to the world. You cannot give up now. You have to keep going forward. So what if you tried and it failed before? Try again. Make up your mind to try again. There's no such thing as shame. Shame is out the window. Shame is in the past. There's no such thing as that. Trying and failing and then trying again is all part of your testimony, my queens. There's no such thing as being embarrassed because sons are acting up or daughters are acting up. All of that is part of your testimony, and this too shall pass. I'm telling you, the things that we say we feel ashamed of, and what are people going to say? People don't really care about you. We don't live our lives to please people. We live our lives to please an audience of one, and that is God. And once God puts you on a mountaintop, He is well able to keep you there. So it doesn't matter who comes along with negative provocations. God is going to remove them so that you can keep going. You can keep building. You can keep dreaming. You can keep expanding. You can keep investing in your stock and your portfolio. I'm telling you. I know what I'm telling you. This season of our life, it's called emotionally healed. I'm telling you, it's called emotionally healed. You gotta stand. My sisters, you gotta stand, and you gotta stand strong. Resilient. Unmovable. Unshakable in the face of the enemy. And keep shining your light. Look at it. The internet was giving so much trouble island-wide today. So I came on tonight. It was going well, and then thank God Prophetess called and said it's not showing, and that's how I know to come off. And then I had to try several times before I was able to get the stream on. And finally, I'm here talking, giving this class. You're seeing me and I'm seeing you. Some of the comments are sticking, but that's all right. I'm able to deliver the message. So this is what I'm telling you. You got to be resilient. You got to stand strong. You got to know your why. WHY. Know your why. Why do you do what you do? And if you know your why, then nothing that comes is going to move you, because you know your why. I know my why. I've been sent to this planet to shine my light, to awaken 1 million women, to help them heal their souls so that they can find new meaning in life. I know my why. And so when you know your why and you know your purpose, you become unstoppable. Hey, I'm telling you, you become unstoppable. You become that unshakable woman. You become the unstoppable woman. You become that woman that is working on her soul, working on her healing, working on having healthy relationships, working on her mindset, working on removing things that were limiting beliefs, destroying limiting beliefs, destroying self-sabotaging beliefs, and working on developing herself so that she can rise like an eagle up to that mountaintop. Unstoppable woman. That's who you are. You are unstoppable. I call you unstoppable tonight. You are that unstoppable woman. You got wisdom. You got resilience. You got strength. You got soul. You got grace. You mean to tell me God took you through all of that to develop all that inside of you, and you're going to stop now? You are going to stop now when you're almost to the mountaintop? God took you through your life's journeys so that you can become this unstoppable, emotionally mature woman on your mountaintop, and you want to stop now? You cannot stop now. You cannot give up now. You got to keep going forward. You got to keep growing. You have to keep developing. You have to keep working on your restoration if it's in the marriage. You got to keep working on your business. You got to keep advancing your business. You got to keep going forward in life. No stopping. No stopping. No stopping. No stopping. We're not stopping. You went through too much, Queen. You went through too much. Too much. You've learned too much. You've seen too much. You've overcome too much to stop now. Ain't no stopping us now. So, we are developing emotional maturity so that our light can shine in a dark world, and so that many others around us can be healed and they can also rise to do what life has ordained for them to do. All right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That was point number 4, resilience. Point number 5, the emotionally mature woman takes responsibility for her actions. The emotionally mature woman takes responsibility for her actions and decisions. Right? This woman doesn't blame others for her own shortcomings, but she takes personal responsibility. These kind of women acknowledge where they may have gone wrong and they seek to do better in the future. Right? The emotionally mature woman takes accountability of her household and seeks to handle her financial matters of importance. All right? Someone says that they are not able to comment, to post. Well, I'm so sorry about that. It's beyond my control tonight. It's the internet going up and going down. So I trust that you guys are able to come back on. Right? So this is the point number 5. The emotionally mature woman takes responsibility for her actions and decisions. Right? So part of becoming emotionally mature is owning your story, owning your responsibility. Take responsibility for your actions. No one has to convince you of something that you may have done wrong, or an outburst that you may have had, or a wrong move towards someone, you know. So just take responsibility for your actions and own it so that you can transform it. Own it so that you can transform it. We're not owning our wrong actions or wrong decisions in life to wallow in sorrow. We're not doing that. We don't do that around here. Nobody is going to be wallowing in sorrow and having a pity party and saying, look at me, poor me, look at what I did. No. All right? If it's anything, I'll give you 24 hours to cry. You can cry over the spilled milk for 24 hours. But after that, you're going to have to pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, dust yourself off, and keep going forward. Try again. Right? So, you got to learn from your mistakes. So, the emotionally mature woman takes responsibility and takes accountability. If you have a business, John Maxwell said that in business, everything rises and falls on leadership. So if you're a leader in your business and your business is going down, it's your fault. It's not the customer's fault. It's not this one's fault. It's not the customer that called and canceled. It's not the weather. It's not the season. It's your fault. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And this is why if you're going into business, you have to have the skills how to manage and run a successful business. Otherwise, you will take the responsibility of a business that is going down. You will take that responsibility off of yourself and you're going to find everybody else to blame when it's really you, right? So if you want to have a successful business, you have to take full responsibility for the growth and the sales and the marketing strategies And all of that, all of the other analytics, you have to take responsibility for that in your business. Nobody's going to do that for you. You have to own it so that you can transform it. All right? So everything rises and falls on leadership. So in our global organization, all my leaders have to give an account of their stewardship. Because it's not this one's fault or that one's fault or the other one's fault. Those are signs of an immature person. And remember, we are on a mission to heal our souls and to become emotionally healthy. The emotionally healthy woman is a woman that owns her story. Own it so you can transform it. That's as much as I can say to that. All right? So I want you from today to begin to take accountability of your life, of your household, of your bill payments, of the way that you manage your bills. Remember, pay important bills first. Pay important bills first. TNTech or your electricity company have trusted you to supply you with a service in advance, trusting that you will pay for those services. When you don't pay for those services, what happens next is the consequences of an unpaid bill, which is they cut you, right? And you don't want that to happen. So it means to say that you have to come to a place of maturity in your life where you know, okay, I need electricity to live. So I might as well go ahead and pay my electricity bills first. What are some other bills that you pay first? We all know about those kinds of bills, right? Electricity bill, cable bills, if it's important to you, internet bill, that's very important to all of us. Insurances, if you have life insurance premiums, you got to pay those. If you have a car note to pay, you got to pay your car note. You got to take care of your car repairs, otherwise you have no car to drive, right? What are some of the other bills? Mortgage, you got to pay your mortgage every month. You got to pay your rent every month. These are bills that are statutory. In other words, I can expect them every month. When it shows up, I don't have to act surprised. Oh, a bill came. I wasn't aware that I wasn't aware that the electricity bill was going to come. I wasn't aware that this bill is coming every month. Don't act crazy. That's just acting really crazy. An emotionally mature person understands if you are living, you are using energy. And you have to pay for those energies. Life does not supply those energies to us for free. Those energies have to be paid for. The more you use, the higher your bills is going to come. No one has to convince you that you have to pay your bills every month. All right? So we all had to learn this lesson, I'm very sure. So I want you to learn how to pay your important bills first and put the secondary things second. So you're paying your mortgage, you're paying your rent, you're paying your electricity bill, you're paying your internet bills, you're paying your insurance, your car note. If your car needs a tire, get that done, right? Try to do those important, really important things first, and then you put the pleasures of life second, which is whatever. Food, large quantities of meats, drinks and beverages and whatever all the perks of life are, right? Whatever your likes and preferences are. Okay? But just be sure that you remember we are developing emotional maturity. And this is why I told you it takes time. No one is able to just jump into this overnight. It's going to take time because it takes intentional decisions from you. All right? So that's point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's point number 5. And now we are on to point number 6. I have 2 more points. And that's going to bring us to an end tonight. All right? Point number 6. Developing emotional maturity, which leads to healthy relationships. Point number 6. Develop healthy boundaries. You got to develop healthy boundaries. Emotionally mature women know how to establish healthy boundaries, right? This is the woman that respects herself. The woman that respects herself develops healthy boundaries. And when she develops healthy boundaries for herself, she is then able to respect the boundaries of others. Remember, a person that shows disregard for other people's boundaries is a person that has no boundaries for their own self, and they are very low in self-respect and self-esteem. So if you want really healthy relationships for 2024, then you have to work on developing your emotional maturity. And one of the ways that you develop emotional maturity is by setting healthy boundaries. You have to do it. It's just a part of life. You cannot be an open for all. You cannot be a free for all. You cannot have your doors open to any old person, any old jack can just walk up by you. Anyone can call you any time of the night. If you're a married woman, you're always on the phone. Your husband is at home and you're talking an hour to 2 hours on the phone and your husband is at home. That is crazy. Something is not right there. Nothing is wrong with, if it's someone from abroad and it's a project that you're working on, it's a one-off call, fine. But it cannot be a consistent thing where you have a husband at home, in your home, and you are on the phone for a good hour to 2 hours and your husband is left unattended, right? So, healthy boundaries. Married women got to develop healthy boundaries for their home, for their family home and their family life. Single women got to set up healthy boundaries when it comes to men and other men calling them or visiting them or wanting to take them out on a date or whatever. Healthy boundaries. And a woman is only able to develop healthy boundaries when she has self-respect. Self-respect is key to developing healthy boundaries. Because I'll tell you what, I may have boundaries that are set up, and a person may be trying to reach me, and I would say no, not at this time, call me tomorrow. And that person can take offense because that person does not see the value in what I have set up. But remember, the boundaries of a single woman is very different to the boundaries of a married woman. Single women that have self-respect have to have higher boundaries. Higher boundaries. Because remember, you are God's daughters. You are God's daughters. You are holy. You are living a holy life. You are supposed to be covered, protected, sheltered, hidden from predators. And this is where the Holy Spirit comes in. The Holy Spirit's job is to shelter you, to cover you, to protect you from predators. But if you open up the door, swing it wide open, and have people calling you all times of the night, and have people breaching your boundaries, then you are grieving the Holy Spirit. Right? And so every one of us as women have to develop healthy boundaries for ourselves and for our mental health. If you are, there are people that take care of elders. Elderly people require extra care and extra attention. So as a person, if you're a caretaker and you're taking care of an elderly person, or you're taking care of someone that is sick or shut in, it requires extra strength, extra energy, extra attention. And so in a case like that, whenever you find that your strength is going low, for your own mental health, you have to develop healthy boundaries where other family members are able to step in to render an assistance. And so you have to clearly communicate that as part of your boundaries. But you are only able to communicate that when you have self-respect, when you understand your needs and what your body needs and what your soul needs for your own mental health. We all have to develop healthy boundaries for our own mental health, right? And so every woman under the sound of my voice, in order to develop emotional maturity, you have to begin working on those boundaries, begin setting those boundaries. Some of you already have it because you were in my manifest course, so you know about it. Develop those healthy boundaries and keep working on it. Keep improving over time, keep evaluating. It can change and you can add new ones. It's nothing set in goal, but just keep developing it over time. And you're going to get better and better. You want to be a woman with self-respect. So in this season, I'm encouraging you, choose self-respect. Choose your mental sanity and self-respect. I want someone to write this down. I choose my mental sanity and self-respect. I choose my mental sanity and self-respect. You got to choose it. Life was not going to choose it for you. No one is going to choose it for you. You got to choose it for yourself. And if you don't choose it, it will not be chosen for you. Right? So you got to choose that for yourself. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Point number 7. I'm on the final point and I'm going to bring us into a close tonight. Point number 7. In order to develop emotional maturity, there must be continuous self-improvement. You must be a woman of continuous self-improvement. Self-improvement. You got to be committed to learning and personal growth. You got to be committed to what? Learning and committed to personal growth. You got to be committed to learning and committed to personal growth. Self-improvement. Because as an emotionally mature woman, right? You don't know everything. You are developing that skill now, right? And you have to know when you don't know everything and you need to learn a new skill. So in order to foster healthy relationships, you may very well have to go to learn how to speak to your husband better, or how to deal with stress, or how to deal with whatever, how to deal with a troubled child, or whatever the cause may be. So there are things that you don't know that you will need to learn so that you will be able to develop an emotional, a greater sense of emotional maturity. And what did I say? Developing emotional maturity helps us to nurture healthy relationships. And that's what we want. 2024 should not meet you with anything toxic in your life. 2024, I decree over your life, will not meet you with anything toxic in your life. You don't want toxic. We're not doing toxic. We're not doing toxic relationships. We're not doing unhealthy relationships. We're not doing toxic crazies, crazy people, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. 2024, you are not doing that. You got to keep your focus. I protect my focus. I protect my focus for the people that have been sent to me. And trust me, the people that have been sent to me, they genuinely love me. They value what I have to offer. And I love them. And I hold space for their healing in my energetic field. All right? And so my focus is helping those women heal their souls so that they can begin to manifest all the blessings, all the businesses. They can manifest their expansions in life. They can manifest their new home, their new cars, their new wealth portfolios, and all the new digital assets. This is where you're coming into in 2024. So all the other negative and toxic things that were taking up space in your life, it's time to go. It's time to release all those negative energies. Release all those other things, those wrong things that were just causing you to lose focus and lose your mental sanity. We are not accepting that. 2024, it's going to be a wonderful year. I declare that on your life. It's going to be a wonderful year of peace and focus for you. You're going to have inner peace. You're going to have so much inner peace. You're going to have so much joy. You're going to have so much love. New romance is coming into your life, and that's going to be your spouse. Your life partner is released. I sense it. Your life partner has come to help you in life. Many of you, you're birthing your new businesses. And that business is the business that is going to touch so many women out there in the world. Your life is transforming. Your life is becoming significantly richer and better. Every minute that goes by, your life is increasing in value and in richness. Value and richness. I speak that over your life. Value and richness. Your life is increasing in value and richness. I speak it on your life. Your dreams are about to come to pass. Woo. Someone under the sound of my voice, you're about to live your wildest dreams, and it's going to be so magnificent. You're getting ready to travel the friendly skies. You're going to the country that you always wanted to visit. You're going to be going to Miami, you're going to be going to New York, you're going to be going to Canada, you're going to be going to Australia, someone is going to Dubai, someone is going to Georgia. You're just going to be traveling the world to the Caribbean islands. Someone is coming down to Trinidad. Then we're going over to St. Lucia. Then we'll be going to Barbados. Then we're going to Grenada. Then we're going to fly back over to Jamaica. Someone is coming. Who is coming? Who is coming? Big things are coming. Greatness is happening right before our very eyes. Your life is transforming. It's only getting better and bigger, richer and richer. Only the best to come. It's a new season. It's a new day. A fresh anointing is coming your way. This is your season of blessings and breakthrough and miracles. Get ready to manifest miracles. I bless you, everyone. God's richest blessings on your life. Thank you for joining me on this evening in the therapy room. I pray that your souls continue to heal and to heal really well. Only the best to come. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you for joining.